Right, my name's Paula Rhodes, and I've been a Rotherham fan since 1980. I started going because my best friend went and her dad was friends with my dad, so my dad was happy for me to go. He wouldn't have allowed me to go otherwise. I started off just with home matches, and then eventually I started going away. I was lucky because I think I saw the best team we've ever had, with Ronnie Moore and Tony Towner and John Seasman, Ray Mountford. So I was very lucky in that respect. I have seen them from on the break almost into the what is now Premiership First Division, right down into the Fourth Division. And I've made a lot of good friends by watching them. And it's part of your life. I kept watching them until 1994, when unfortunately my mum's health deteriorated. She used to come with me. My dad used to come before he passed away. We actually used to sponsor one of the players' socks. In those days you could sponsor parts of the kit, and we used to sponsor Phil Crosby's socks. And when my dad passed away quite suddenly, he wrote my mum a lovely letter. So we stopped going in 94 because her eyesight went and she needed full-time care. So, but we would listen religiously on a Saturday, home matches, away matches, but we couldn't physically go back. And I've just returned last season after I lost my husband. So it's been quite a gap, but I've always kept up with them. Well, we'd sort of talked about it because he knew what was coming, and he'd said to me, he was a bit upset that I'd not been able to come back. He was a South London lad, so he was a Palace supporter, but we tried not to hold it against him. And he said to me, when you feel up to it, I want you to go back. So I left it 18 months, and then I came to one match. And I was very fortunate because I like to sit near the front. I got sat in between a chap and his son who are lovely, and then a family at this side of ladies who are absolutely brilliant. And I think maybe if I'd have sat somewhere else, I wouldn't have been as comfortable, but they've just taken me under their wing. And then this year I decided I would travel away. So I used to be in the supporters club in the 80s. As a woman, it wasn't the nicest experience. But I was looked after, but there was, it could be a bit uncomfortable. So I contacted Roy and Joyce, and I explained the situation, and they said, come along. They sat me next to a lovely lady called Barbara for the first match, and I think I've missed 2 matches ever since. And again, I feel like I've got an extended family away and an extended family at home. I knew nobody. The chap that I used to go with, his daughter sadly passed away. They didn't go anymore. And I thought, I'm going to have to sort of bite the bullet and go for it. But I knew, because wherever you go, if you've got a Rotherham shirt on, there is always somebody that'll comment, and you're part of that family. So I hoped I would find somebody that was pleasant. And on other occasions, when I've come to friendlies, obviously not all the grounds open at once, I've sat in different bits and I've found somebody else to talk to. So I have been fortunate, but I think that initial getting there and seeing those ladies really sort of gave me the courage to come back again. I think I would have definitely made contact with them just to explain my situation and say, can we meet up beforehand? Is there a better place? Because again, I didn't know this ground. I didn't know whether I was sitting in the right place. I thought the family stand would be a good place to start. But as I say, I got that one ticket, and then I immediately went and got the season ticket because I didn't want to lose that space. So this is my second season coming back. When I used to go, I would quite often be the only female on a bus. And I started standing in the Tivoli end. I then went onto the stands. Now, the stands have always had a few more women in. The Tivoli, very few. Now, it's amazing. I would say our coaches are probably 60-40 women, and it's all ages. So I think it has really, really improved, and I think there's more inclusion than there was. The ladies' toilets in each ground, myself and Joyce go in and check out, and they're always rubbish, but that's by the by. But as a person, as a woman, I think I feel a lot more comfortable at football matches, because now we're spoken to as if we know the sport. It's not like, oh, you're just here to wave to the players or whatever. We actually do know. We've done our time. We know. And I've not witnessed anything since I've come back where I've seen a woman, a daughter, a young girl harassed, because if there were, I'd step in. Again, it depends where you stand or where you sit. I think we found this at away matches, because we're all in together. On a home match, we've all got our own areas. Away matches, you're all in together. And sometimes the chanting and the behaviour can be intimidating for us. We had an experience at Barnsley where we moved seats. We have had younger people come and sit near us because they found it intimidating. So that is the thing, is probably do your homework, find out where's the best place to sit. Contact the club, ask them and say, look, I'm coming on my own, where would you suggest I sit? Is there somewhere that would be more comfortable for me? And generally, when you get there, if you're a bit nervous and there's a female there, just have a word with them. You know, that's what we did. So that's what I'd suggest. But obviously, if there's going to be a women's supporters club, that would be the first point of contact. For me, when I first started, I didn't know anybody, obviously. But if you were at a supporters club and there was somebody there and you thought, right, do you fancy meeting up for a coffee beforehand? You know, are you travelling away? Well, can I travel with you? Obviously, with the supporters club, if they say they're travelling alone, that's quite, you know, people sort of group round you and say, yeah, we'll look after you, don't worry. But I think the Women's Supporters Club would give them an extra level for somebody that's never been, just to give them a bit of confidence, a bit of information, and then hopefully it's a good experience for them. I mean, obviously, we have the Supporters Club, but this is just sort of an extra, more of a friendship club, I think. Just if you're a little bit nervous, or you know you're unsure about something, you can get a little bit more advice from us oldies that have been here since 1900 and frozen to death. I mean, it's a lovely ground. I was obviously brought up on Millmore, where you used to have to break the ice in the ladies' toilets in winter. But yeah, I mean, I've not seen anything. I mean, around me there's plenty of ladies. Other parts of the ground, when I've sat for friendlies, there's always been a lot. The stewards, I think having one or two more stewards would be nicer, female stewards, because the ones we've had have been lovely, but at that meeting we did have some concerns, but obviously that's an outside contractor. So it would be nice to have that, because if you are upset and you can't find somebody to go to, you know, we don't have police anymore, you'd go to a steward, and I think it would be nice if there was something else there. But other than that, I think Rotherham's done a fantastic job. If there was somebody that wanted to come, I would say contact the club, ask them where the best place to sit is, take that courage, come in to either the disabled supporters room and speak to the supporters club. Just come and give it a go. And if you find that where you're sat is not for you, then try another part of the ground. But don't give up, because it is a fantastic feeling when they win. And you're in there for, you know, I've been a supporter for 40 odd years. You know, I'll be one until I pass away. The club badge is on my mum and dad's headstone. So if you can get into it and you like it and you make friends, it's a fantastic feeling, especially when you go away and you win. There's nothing like it at all. Yeah, we do need more females. I mean, there is quite a good balance now, but most of us are sort of like from the 80s. It's nice to see younger females coming in. It'd be nice to see the young girls that play football at half time, for them to come in. So that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that they know that it's not the 80s, it is a safe place. The families are happy for them to come, and if they need any support, that we're all around to help them.